Wars story.
Alright, Paul.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
Sorry.
guess I saw it.
Alright.
Well, I got a chance to check this movie out. First and foremost, I never asked for this movie. I didn't want it.
I don't think anybody.
I don't think everybody was like amping up for it.
And I
so-
think that's part of the reason why I didn't see it. I was just like,
Yeah,
I'll see it eventually.
But being a Star Wars fan, I would go no matter what. And so pretty soon they're gonna come out with Obi-Wan movie and Boba Fett
Okay, so
And it's-
maybe I'm a hypocrite.
and a C3PO
C-3PO. Frick that dude.
C3PO.
I would much rather see a Kenobi movie than a Boba Fett movie.
I would agree with that if you didn't read the book, the novel. But that's a
I
different.
don't know a lot of people who do read the Star Wars.
They
books.
do. There's a lot. Well, hardcore fans does. I don't read the book. I don't really want Boba Fett movie either. But that's not the point. We're here to review.
Sorry. Okay.
So, my first impression. Well, just like me and Paul we were talking about, we didn't really. I don't think anybody wanted this movie, but it was made. It starred. What's his name? Aaron Allwright. I think that's how to say his name. Who is supposed to be Han Solo?
You got Woody Harrelson. You got
Emily Clark. Is that her name?
yeah,
From Game of Thrones.
Amelia,
One of those. Anyway, she's in it.
and Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
I would probably see this movie just for Donald Glover.
And yeah, I would too. Actually, he's actually really good in this movie. And so, well,
First impressions.
first impression, I was very entertained by this movie. It was funny. I was okay with Aaron Allwright being Han Solo. I think that's everybody's skeptical going in. How is he going to be the Han Solo that we all know and love from the original movies, who was played by Harrison Ford? And I have to be honest. Once I went in there, once the movie started, it didn't even bother me. I thought he was good.
Okay.
I thought he was funny. There were moments where I thought, okay, I can see the similarity of how Han would act if Harrison Ford was playing Han.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I thought he was great in this. I thought he was good. The movie itself, it's not a great movie.
Really?
Not. But it is a good movie.
Alright.
And I don't love it. I liked it a lot. I think there was a couple of things that I thought I could have done better. But
Like
all in all, well, let's go with you want to go with the bad first?
Sure.
There's a couple things I didn't like. Let's talk about the bad guy. I don't know the name, so this guy. In the beginning of the movie, by the way, this is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, go check the movie out. Go watch the movie first and come back. And I know Paul doesn't care because he hates Star Wars.
I don't hate Star Wars. All right. I am entertained by Star Wars as much as the next guy.
It's true, and I love Star Wars. And so finally, in this is one scene that Han got with Harrison Ford, his name is Beckett in this movie, I liked him too. He's actually really good. And you get these these pirates they call them, who comes and try to ruin their heist. This is more of a heist movie, somewhat of a heist, but. In the beginning, you met this group of people, this bad guy, and they kill some of his people, Hans and his friend that they're doing the job with. They kill them, and then in the end, you find out that these guys are with the resistance. They're the rebels,
Oh, okay.
and they're good guys. But why did you make him kill those people and made him look like a mercenary or more murderous people? And then at the end, you also. Like, oh, they're good people. They're actually young people, good people who trying to fight the Empire, and it didn't mix with me well. It's kind of weird. Like you portray these people as these. I understand that in war,
It was just not very good storytelling.
the storytelling was okay. It was very jumpy as well. That's one of the things I didn't like. There was moments where it was just like, okay, let's go here. Okay, finish. Let's just like really, this doesn't flow well, and so I kind of weird that. Felt weird to me. Like, I understand when in war there's casualty in both sides, but I guess the perspective of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, in my eyes when I was watching this movie, I thought they were the bad guy, but then they made him do a good guy at the end. It just kind of weird.
I feel like everything you're saying right now is kind of how I felt during the trailer. It's very jumpy,
Yeah.
didn't flow. Like you don't really know what's going on, and it's very unclear.
Very unclear.
And that's kind of a bummer that it reflects in the movie. It's
Yeah.
the same thing.
So that's one thing. The other one I didn't like, I'll give you 2 more seconds, is what is Han Solo known as for? What is he known for?
I mean, according to Star Wars canon, he's a smuggler.
He's a smuggler, and he's famous for what?
The Millennium Falcon?
Flying in the Castle Run.
Sure.
12 parcel of Castle Run. That's his fame. That's everybody knew who Han Solo was because of what he did at the Castle Run, and it wasn't that big of a deal in the movie. It mentions it, he does it, but it wasn't. It's to me. This is my own opinion, and I thought they should have focused on more in this case. But I feel like if his legend, his fame was all about the Castle Run, it was like that. He ran it, got it, go. That's the end of it. Like it wasn't emphasized more on that, and so I thought that was the weak point of the movie. And so,
All right. What did you like about the movie?
what did I like is I like the action in this. The millennial. I can't say the word. Millennial Falcons.
Millennium.
and
Wait, Millennium.
One of those.
Millennium Falcon.
The ship. I thought the action of that, and when he and Chewie got control of the ship and started flying it, it felt like Star Wars. It felt like I'm watching Han Solo and Chewbacca flying the Millennium Falcon in the original series, and so that worked for me. I love that. There's a couple of scenes in there that I love. One of them being a spoiler alert. This is a cameo. I know Paul doesn't care, so I'm gonna say it, is you get to see Darth Maul.
What?
Darth Maul
Really?
comes into play.
That is cool. I actually like that.
But he doesn't do much. You just see him as a hologram, and at first you're like, "What the heck is this? Who is this guy?" At first I thought it was Emperor, but then I saw his half body is mechanic, and I'm like, "That's Darth Maul." And then he pulled stuff. Now, most of you probably don't know.
Was he mechanic?
He is. If you see him in the prequel, in the first Phantom Menace, you notice that he got chopped up in half by Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize is he's not dead. He's still alive.
Oh, so this takes place
after
after
the
Phantom
prequel.
Menace.
Yeah. So he's still alive.
I guess that makes sense.
And if you watch Rebels, the cartoon, he comes back in that, and that's canon too. If you read comics, he comes back. In fact, Obi-Wan ended up killing him later on. But what happened was after he got chopped up by Obi-Wan, he went and got himself a mechanic body.
Yeah. Magic legs.
And his magic legs. So that's one cool scene that I like. That you get to see Darth Maul. This movie does.
Did he do anything else, or he just?
No, he just talked. He had. Of course, I thought it was kind of stupid. People will say, "Oh, you're gonna see a lightsaber being lit up." Of course you do, because he didn't need to do it, but for some reason they had him light up his lightsaber. It was stupid.
So people knew it was Darth Maul.
Everybody knew it was Darth Maul, but no, we have
The
to.
one character that I like.
But
nothing.
that's one of my favorite scenes. I thought it was cool to see him. It brought me back. Just the fight scene between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul in the first Phantom.
That's the best scene ever.
The music's awesome. My other favorite scene that I thought was pretty cool is we find out that Han shoots first.
I've always known Han shot
The
first.
question was,
Han shot first. If you don't believe that, you're too young to be watching Star Wars.
if you've seen this movie, he shot first, and what that means is at the end of this movie. Now,
That's interesting that they would put it in, because they made it such a point to re-edit it to make it look like the other dude shot.
Han, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. At the end scene, him and Beckett. Now, okay, let me go back. The other thing I didn't like about this movie, it was too obvious. When you see this movie, you can predict what's gonna happen. You can. The famous line in this movie is like, "Don't trust no one, everyone will betray you." Well, guess who's gonna betray him? The person that says that line, and it happens to be that person. And so this movie is like, it's really predictable what's gonna happen. The only surprise in this movie that I thought was two things was Emilia Clarke's character. I thought she was gonna die. She actually lives, which I thought was surprising. That means there's going to be a second Han Solo movie. And the other one was Darth Maul. That was a surprise to me. But other than that, you're like, this is so predictable. that's the other thing I didn't like about it. It's been done before, and you kind of guess, okay, that's gonna happen. He's gonna betray them. Okay, that's it. So that's the other thing. But in this movie, him and Beckett at the end, he decided to betray him, and boom, they came face to face, and he's doing a speech before Beckett can even finish his speech. Han just shot him. Because he knew that he was gonna kill him, so he's like, "I'm gonna shoot him first." So Han shot first. That's been answered. So no more question about that. And so
all right. So give it a rating.
Another rating. I would probably give this probably a Blu-ray. I find it pretty entertaining. It's Star Wars. You're gonna see it in theater no matter what. Whether you hate the Last Jedi or if you love it, which I love it. But if you don't, you're still gonna go see Star Wars because Star Wars is Star Wars and you're gonna watch it. But I find this film I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I walked out of that theater and I remember telling my wife that was a fun film. It was entertaining. The action was good. It was funny, and he can pull off as Han Solo. So I recommend you watching this movie. Whether you go see it in theater or not, that's up to you. And whether you love Star Wars or not, like Paul, that's up to you too. And so, but go check it out.
All right. See you next time.